Hi, 3 and 4-year-old leaders. We're preparing for March 10th. Today we're talking about Moses and the golden calf. We're continuing our series called Goal, where we're helping kids ask and answer the question, what is God like? God is holy, good, and loving. And it's so important for all of us to remember that God is all three of those things, that He is holy and only He can be holy, that He is good and He means for good for us and for all of those around us, and that He is loving. He doesn't let any of us perish or die without the opportunity to know who His Son was and why He sent His Son for us. So with that in mind, today we're talking about the golden calf, and I think this is kind of a funny story, honestly, because as ridiculous as it sounds, I'm sure there are times where we can be just as ridiculous. Moses has gone up on the mountain. He's getting the 10 commandments from God. And when he comes down with the 10 commandments, he notices the Israelites have built this large gold cow, and they are worshiping the cow. They are singing praises to the cow. They are doing everything they would do typically to worship God to a cow. I think it's so funny, and I can't even imagine what it was like being Moses coming down. I think of it sometimes as when I walk in my kids' rooms and their room still looks as disastrous as it did 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you even live like this? And so I would imagine that Moses was in a similar situation, like, what is wrong with you people? Why are you why a cow? Why a cow? So when he comes down off the mountain, he slams the tablets down that God had given him with the 10 commandments on them, because he was so mad. And I can't even imagine what that was like for Moses. I can't imagine what that was like from God's perspective to walk in on that. So that's our story for today. Obviously, you can tell that I think this is just fun and just amazing that God tells these stories, because I'm sure like it really was as ridiculous as it sounds. All right, so your social activity is your follow the Moses game. You're going to choose someone to be Moses or the leader, and the kids are going to follow them around and do what they do. Really, these social activities are to help give you extra time to build relationships with kids. I know our kids love coming into our areas and getting to play with toys and interact with each other in our centers, and that's good, but we want for them to help build relationships with each other and with us, so that we get the opportunity to share Jesus with them. And so these social activities are to help you have a reason to gather everybody together and to build those opportunities over time. One of the things that we know is that fun over time equals relationships. So as many fun experiences and games and activities we can do together to help kids begin to trust us, that's why these activities are there. So you'll have your video that you can watch, have your worship song that you guys can sing together. And then today you're going to have a bag of Play-Doh in your room. I'll probably make you some fresh Play-Doh for this one. Anyway, so with the Play-Doh, you're going to give each kid a little handful of Play-Doh, and they're going to try to build their own idols. And then they get the chance a little bit later to smash their idol. Ask them if they would build a cow. If they don't want to build a cow, maybe they want to build something else. What is something else that they think is important? And they can build their idol and then smash it up. That is ultimately what we learn from this story in the book of Exodus. All right, and then you have your memory verse. Your memory verse is Matthew 22, verses 37 through 39, and it says, Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul and with all of your mind. This is the first and the greatest commandment, and the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself, and everybody can go around giving each other hugs. You have a coloring page in your packet as well. Your coloring page is to help families know that that we are teaching them a lesson. I don't think that's the right coloring page as I'm just looking at this. So I will have to get you the right coloring page. I'm sorry about that. It should have a golden cap on the front of it. So the coloring pages don't have to be completed in class. We want to send those home with kids so that parents know that we taught them something, and that we taught them something from the Bible on the days that we have them. Thank you for leading. Thank you for building relationships that build disciples. What you do in small group, it helps a kid for a lifetime. So thank you for all you do. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or need some help.